Yes, guys, it's Dave from Talking Wolves. Welcome back to another match review. Wolves are now through to the FA Cup 5th round after a 4th round replay win over Shrewsbury at Molineux tonight. Obviously coming out on top 3-2, having to come from behind as well. Probably wasn't the most ideal way to do it. But, you know, Wolves in the end, we did it, and, you know, we're through to the next round. So, as we expected, a slightly mixed up team. We played more or less a full strength back five. John Ruddy reintroduced in goal as well. Romain Sace and Morgan Gibbs-White in the middle. And then obviously the front three again of Costa Cavallero and Adama Traore. And on paper, it should be more than enough to beat a team that in Shrewsbury that aren't doing particularly well in League One. But you know, they made it difficult for us. Their game plan did well. They did what they needed to do. And on another day, they could have been the team going to face off against Bristol City in round 5. You know, at the start, couldn't have got much better. Set piece for us. Caused them a couple of issues. Fell for Matt Doherty quite nicely. Tapped it home. Couldn't really miss. And, of course, his great season is continuing. They got themselves back in the game. You know, we were wondering why their fans were celebrating, grabbing a corner so much. That was probably why. They know that's their best chance of getting anything against us. They scored a corner against us in the initial tie, and they did it again today. Straight away, their equaliser didn't take long to get. And, you know, back to square one again. Fortunately, you know, we dominated the game. We didn't allow them to have many chances at all. However, they did go in front. Very, very poor goalkeeping by John Ruddy. Don't really know what he was doing, to be honest. We have all these arguments after every time he plays, saying he should get a run in the Premier League. And people say, oh, how quick you were to forget last season. He made mistakes like that last season that cost us points. If you think about it, Norwich, a few other games. But yeah, it's not acceptable. It's basic goalkeeping. He made an error in the last game, you could say, as well, misjudging the ball and the deflection. But yeah, and that put us, you know, in a poor position. We were quite fortunate, I think, to get the goal right in half time. If we didn't get that goal right in half time, it could have been a completely different game. So fortunately, Matt Doherty grabbed his second of the game. I think it was Cavallero won the knock-on. I think some referees would have given a foul or obstruction or whatever for that. So we were quite fortunate with that. And obviously Doherty went and grabbed his second of the game. Second half, again, well, we were fully dominant. I think with the goal there, I wouldn't have been surprised to see us make a couple of changes if it had stayed at 2-1 Shrewsbury at half-time. But we managed to get the goal, take it into the second half, kept the same lineup, and of course just saw the game out really. Cavallero over a great goal, a nice little ball roll, did enough to send it through the goalkeeper's legs as well. The one thing that I didn't really enjoy in that game was at times we just looked so uncomfortable on the ball. And against a League One team, of course, we had loads of the ball, but we weren't helping ourselves. There were a lot of hospital balls, poor passing. I know, for argument's sake, Morgan Gibbs-White lobbing a pass across our own box to Connor Cody made it very, very difficult. But yeah, I don't think the middle two of Sace and Gibbs-White worked very well at all. I think if we're going to be playing the two in midfield, you need both of them holding, not one running upwards as Gibbs-White does. No disrespect to him, I think he's a good player, but it doesn't work in the way. I think he would work much better in the 5-3-2, how we've been playing in the Premier League, but in that middle two, it doesn't work at all. As I say, Ruddy in goal, didn't have the best of games, but he didn't have a lot to do. But unfortunately, obviously, he made that error that gave Shrewsbury that half chance of getting something out of the game. Back three didn't have much to do. I thought Ryan Bennett at times was quite poor, a little bit sloppy. Connor Cody and Willy Bolly were fairly solid, though. Wing backs, Doherty obviously speaks for itself. I think he was man of the match today. 2 goals, solid throughout, to be honest. Johnny did all right going forward as well. As I've said, the midfield too it wasn't really my cup of tea today. I thought both of them were quite poor, quite sloppy on the ball as well. I think it's a bit of a change from having the terrier type of players like Neves and Martino, always hungry to win the ball back and so on. It didn't quite work out for me today. Unfortunately, Helder Costa, he's a completely different player from somebody that we saw last season, the year before. Don't know what's happened to him. I think that injury has got the better of him, and he could have been a player that we could have let go, and I wouldn't be surprised to not see him here next season, to be honest. Maybe similar fate to Leo Bonatini, where a loan out. These cup games have got to be massive for these players, because they're not getting much chances in the league. They've got to take advantage in the cup, and Costa definitely didn't do that. I haven't really spoken much about Adama. I think he had a weird game today in the fact that we know what Adama's like. It's starting to come clear the sort of player he is. He doesn't like making runs. I'm not saying he's a lazy player, but he just always wants the ball to his feet rather than the ball in front of him. I think if he was a lot more clever, he'd be on the last man all the time, asking for the ball over the top or in behind, and he doesn't do that much. He has to, it's almost as if he has to do the hard work all himself. Had a couple of chances to have a shot on goal in the first half, which he attempted, which wasn't brilliant. But fortunately, in the second half, he got the hang of things a little bit, some promising balls into the area. And I think he did what he needed to do. And obviously, Cavallera as well. Got himself about a little bit, one or two times maybe, where he could have laid it off or pulled the trigger. But in the end, he got what was obviously the winning goal. Coming off the bench, I think Matilio just steadied us up a little bit. Obviously, we brought on Niall Ennis. Good to see him come on the pitch. Played a good ball towards Jimenez, who was the other substitution, but didn't really do enough. But overall, at the end of the day, Wolves are through to the next round of the FA Cup. A win is a win. Hats off to Shrewsbury for giving it good, really. Gave us a really tough tie. Hopefully, Sam Ricketts is going to be a success there as well. Wolves on now to Bristol City, 17th of Feb. Wolves squad obviously off to Marbella tomorrow for a mid-season training camp. Maybe their eyes were on that. I'm sure, you know, all those players are looking forward to getting into the sun tomorrow. So maybe, you know, they could have used that as an excuse. But at the end of the day, Wolves are on top. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all very, very soon.